Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is round number 5 here of the ARA Porsche Cup for season number 14. We have arrived back in Europe for yet another round of the championship. We've gone from down under to the foresty Hockenheim ring, a place that has seen so much history throughout its years as a racing circuit, which once blasted through the fields and the forests are situated around the circuit, but has then been cut back into 2002 into this current circuit that we know. My name is Adam Reed. I'll be alongside Alexa Marshall and Jim Cunningham, of course, as always in production. We have a very, very interesting circuit around here. Fast, slow, medium. It's got all the corners you want in there, and the weather is playing up a massive, massive part to play in this. So keep an eye out for the conditions around here, as well as our drivers, as we take on 2 races around here. And what a sight to see! The Jim Clark Memorial that is situated at over at turn 2 of this circuit. Alexa, it's good to have you alongside me once again. We're in for a fantastic race here at the Hockenheim ring.
I've always been a Nürburgring and Nordschleife person, but still, you can never doubt the glory that is Hockenheim. Of course, you've got the hairpin towards the back. It's just one of those circuits that when you go to it, you know it's going to be absolutely mega. And with the conditions that we're going to see tonight, it's definitely going to be looking to go even bigger, because the championship, Paul Jouffreau is leading by quite a margin. But Tony only 30 points behind.
We are indeed. We are in a very interesting situation. So you see there Paul Jouffreau and Tony Despotakis up at the front of the field. Neither of those are here tonight. I'm not entirely sure what Despotakis is doing, but I think Paul Jouffreau is not one of the happiest bunnies at the moment. Of course, if you haven't been around for some time, Paul Jouffreau recently raced at Zolder over the weekend for the Euro NASCAR Championship. He said that he would be here if he lost, but I hate to break it to you, but he did not win that championship. So I think he's taking a little bit of time off, potentially with friends and family at this moment in time, just to kind of rejuvenate himself and then get back into his racing very, very soon. Corey Lazarus as well, 227 points ahead of Kim Bjorklund on 219. And it's looking pretty close there with Dominic Beck and Frank Porte Ruiz, another driver who isn't here tonight. it will definitely be a super interesting open championship, I'd say, with plenty of drivers not being able to make it tonight. So the rest standing on the list: Christian Carlson from Pascal Biel, with Helder Sequeira, Steve Clays, David Lauren-Onis, Ben Peterson, James Parker, Kevin Chevalier, Oliver Sulk, Jason Munson, and Joe Petrick, 2 brand new drivers to the championship. We look to also see how they do getting into this one. A great circuit to have as your debut is the Hockenheim Ring. And let's have a look at the amateurs. Lenny Kiefer at the top there with 197 points. Looking very, very strong on his part ahead of Tristan Engelstad, with Gordon Haug and Alex Rossell, with Ruben Iglesias and Joey Island. Ryan Stringer ahead of Max Nevin Shai, with Philip Pignac and Thomas Worm. Christian Maltarek ahead of Javier Bullina, with Ruben Cueto and Danny Hundley. Dylan Han, Florian Enger, Alex Casser, and Tri Truong, the Vietnamese driver, at the bottom of the standings. Some very, very close contenders here. And we are now over halfway through the season. 4 rounds down, 4 left to go. And Alexa, we're into this very intriguing part of qualifying.
Indeed we are. We're at that point where you've had the amateurs do the runs, and now it comes down to the pros. And right now, Corey Lazarus is sitting up at the top, 1 minute 39.820. Currently the fastest. Joey Petrick, P number 2. Jason Munson, P number 3. So the 2 brand new drivers showing their worth and saying, hey, we're here to stay and we're not going anywhere. We're going to put pressure on you straight away. So they are making their way around the circuit at the current moment. We're trying to hold on to it for their moment in time. Lenny Kiefer, no lap time on the board. Same with Helder and Dominic Beck. But Dominic is making his way around the circuit right now. So we'll see what they will get on the board. 23 drivers on the grid tonight. So throughout 2 races, that's going to make it very interesting, Adam, because that is just under half the grid that will be reversed going into race number 2, because of course top 10 end up getting reversed.
Do indeed. So that is going to be a big opportunity for a lot of drivers, especially if you're maybe in the mid pack of the championship. If you're not quite there or thereabouts, you have this amazing opportunity to go after a potential race win. You know, you don't have your Tony Despotakis, you don't have your Paul Truffreaus, you don't have your Frank Porte Ruizes out there either. So a lot of drivers, I think, will be looking to capitalise, especially if you know, Alex Rossell, who's currently in the pit lane and set the fastest lap for the amateurs. The drivers now look to head over the line here. Joe Petrick goes to 2nd place here. The Swiss driver, of course, looking to really make an announcement onto the scene. I think that's David Lauren-Onis going to 3rd ahead of Munson. So 2 of our debut drivers doing superbly well. And what about Christian Carlson for Sim Racing Team Norway? Not too bad, goes to 2nd place there, but it's still Corey Lazarus on top, as he looks to maybe take a double win here and throw himself right into contention despite missing a couple of rounds. The only driver in the 139 to the minute, and it's a 139.8 to make it even better for the New Zealander.
And now you've also got to wonder, how is that going to play into the mindset? As you said, no Tony Despotakis, no, of course, Paul Truffreau. So how is that going to be affecting the mindset here? Because surely, especially Corey Lazarus and Christian Carlson, they're going to be thinking, they're not here. I've got a perfect opportunity to rack up as many points as I possibly can whilst they're away, because that is 2 people who would usually be in high contention up there at the top of the pack, not here tonight. So surely that's going to be in the back of the minds for some drivers. I would say Keir Mandalay Borkland, maybe even Steve Kalais, are very unlucky in the past few rounds. So maybe look for a bit of redemption. But it is very much a bit of a checkerboard at the moment, because the top 6 is all pro. However, we do then go in between the pros and the AMs, continuing down the order from P number 7.
Indeed, we are looking at some very, very close times as we enter the last couple of minutes into this qualifying session. I'm really intrigued to see how most of our grid is going to go. You know, of course, they do have that opportunity, as you said. The mentality is kind of managing to really try and achieve those opportunities and really prize open the door. Seeing if you can get up with the pro category drivers. You know, you got some of the best out there that are not attending. So I really do believe that a lot of them are going to be going forwards on this one. We now look to see this driver here, the 108s there, over the timing being. This is Helder Sekiera, who is quite the way off the pace, over a second behind Corey Lazarus. And look at Joey Petrick there, setting a purple first sector. So a strong showing here from the Swiss driver. Dominic Beck has put himself up into the 139.9s as well, with Petrick only 0.02 of a second behind. So the 139s is the place to be at this moment in time. What about Kim Andre Bjorklund, a title challenger right at the start of the season, but it started to slip away in the last couple of races. The Sim Racing Norway driver looked to try and etch himself potentially into that top 3. He would love to be on one of the first 2 rows and open up that opportunity to fight on forward. But, you know, these Porsches are so easy to really overstep the mark in. They're very easy to maybe lose a little bit of control and push too much here as he runs over the line. Here does go to P4, and Petrick goes to pole at those last couple of moments of this one. That is a fantastic time from the Swiss driver.
Yeah, not too bad at all, especially when you got no TC and no ABS. It really comes down to show what they could do. Petrick there, Corey Lazarus P number 2, Dominic Beck P number 3. So they are taming these beasts of Porsches, which are very notorious, if I must say, around here at the Hockenheim. And we did hear it in the interviews last week, Adam. A lot of these drivers know what Hockenheim is like. The Porsche Cup cars are used a lot here, whether it be IRL or iRacing, like tonight. So you can only imagine there's a little bit less practice in the last few rounds, I would think. But if you have as much practice as others around this circuit, it's already been extraordinary battles. We can only imagine what it's going to be tonight when we get kicked off for race number 1, as there is Chevalier, who is going to move to the side. There is Steve Kleiss, who is making his way around the circuit at the moment. Currently P number 11, 1 minute 40.555 is his fast lap time. That was last lap as well, trying to make his way into the top 10 to make it a full pro. But right now the man denying it is Alex Russell, who is sat P10. He will not be able to set another lap time. Corey Lazarus is there, P number 2, 1 minute 39.820 as he is getting blocked. So no wonder his last lap time was a little bit slower. The car moves out the way, but that is going to be unlucky for him. Sector number 2, though, does look fastest, so maybe blocked, but maybe also helped out with a little bit of slipstream, but I don't think it will end up. We'll wait and see as he comes around the final corner. Gonna go very wide there, and now gonna go to the line slower in that, and that's gonna stay P number 2. That is extremely unfortunate for him.
Well, that is the end of qualifying here at the Hockenheim Ring, and a superb qualifying in these kind of dampening conditions. Remember, the rain is still a potential for this one as we now look to the grid here. Joey Petrick will take pole position here ahead of Corey Lazarus. A fantastic run there by the Swiss driver. Dominic Beck will line up in P3 ahead of Kim Andre Bjorklund, who will look for his first podium since Mexico. Christian Carlson will be just behind him, so both Norwegian drivers in 4th and 5th, with Oliver Schultz and David Aslorinonis. Jason Munson on his debut will start P8, so the big opportunity to go and put in on reverse grid pole. Pascal Veal will be P9 ahead of the amateur pole sitter of Alex Russell, with Steve Kleiss and Thomas Verb down there in P12. We then move to the 7th row of the grid, where we find Kevin Chevalier, the only Unity Racing Team driver to be racing tonight. He'll be alongside Helder Sekiera, who will be in front of his compatriot Ruben Iglesias. Gordon Howe of the Sim Racing Norway team starts down there in 16th ahead of Tristan Engelstad and Joey Ireland. Then we find the 10th row of the grid, where we have Max Nevin Chai. Welcome back to the championship. It's been a while since we've had Max in the championship. With Ruben Cueto, the Spaniard, he will be starting next. Then we have Ryan Stringer, who will be on the next row of the grid. And then it will be Danny Huntley. And at the back of the grid, Lenny Kiefer to round off our, as I say, round off the field on the 12th row of the grid, the only driver on the 12th row of this grid. But we are about to head into a start here. The clutches are in. Let's build the revs, watch for the lights, and we go racing here at Hockenheim. Decent start there, off from pole, but in towards turn number 1. It's going to get a little bit scrappy. There's contact and swinging. Oh, we've had a bit of a, there's carnage everywhere. We've had a little bit of a blip there, but cars are around, and we can't quite get a view of who is that. Let me just go and check the timing. But my word, that was both leaders there of Joey Petrick was involved in that one, and now we're seeing towards turn number 2. That was not the start that we expected. Dominic Beck leads up to the front of the field. Kim Andre Bjorklund in second, and look who's in third. It's Christian Carlson for the Sim Racing Norway team.
He's going to try it. He's going to hold on to it. Dominic Beck is right there. He leads. Oh, mega move down the inside contact. That is not what you wanted at all. Very halfway. And it's been a very, very chaotic lap one. Corey Lazarus, Pascal Wheel, Joey Petrick, Davidas Lurionis, Ruben Cueto, Danny Huntley, and Max Nevenshani were the drivers caught up in that lap 1 incident. So P16 downwards. Hell, we've also got Kevin and Ryan Stringer battling each other. You've got so many fights across the field as we go round this iconic circuit here at Hockenheim. But that is not the lap number 1. I think any of us would have wanted. Well, apart from Dominic Beck, Jason Munson and Christian Carlson, because they've put their driving to the absolute max on lap 1. Good stats, and they are P1, P2, P3.
Yeah, big move there from Jason Munson. He's gone up 6 places since the start. I just want to throw your attention to 7th there. Lenny Kiefer has gone up 16 places since the start. Unbelievable. He was at the back at the grid. He was 23rd and dead last. He ends this next lap here in 7th, and look at this. You see that car ahead? That's Thomas Verm leading the amateurs. Does he go for a move down in towards turn number 2? Says nope, I don't want to risk it. I'm in a fantastic place at the end of this first lap, and he has a big opportunity to go from last on the grid to the first in the amateurs, down in toward the hairpin. The cars will run their toaster boxes, their box engines will now look to scream all the way down in towards the hairpin section. Munson feeling a bit of pressure there from Christian Carlson, but it does look like from the timing screen we see Lenny Kiefer has moved up into the lead of the amateurs. So a lap and a bit, and Kiefer has gone into this lead in that amateur class, and Vern will be looking at that thinking, well, what can I do to get back at him already? This is some really good racing here in the Porsche Cup, and it never disappoints. Here we go, down in towards turn number 1. That's the race start, and in towards the first corner. Netcode. It was pretty much Netcode that sent both of them, because there wasn't too much of a touch, but you just saw that they kind of were rubbing each other and then spinning round. I think that's I don't want to be the one to decide that one. And more carnage there. Who was that spinning around? I think that might have been Steve Clyde potentially for the Eagle Speed Academy esports team. And I think this is another replay. This is Kim Andre Bjorklund, who gets absolutely dive bombed down the inside. And that is super unfortunate there. That might have been, I believe, Oliver Schultz, the Polish driver for the Luke Mansky Racing esports team. And this is down in toward the hairpin again. Tristan Engelstad in the amateurs. Is he going to get absolute dive bomb? He does. That's not the first time I've seen that move either. I'll be honest. Has happened multiple times in multiple kind of different races. I think Frank Portero Ruiz, if you don't follow him on Instagram, he did a race over in at this circuit in Hockenheim, and that move been made multiple times, and people misjudging their breaking point.
A little bit of deja vu, but not the one he would have hoped for. But you got this as the head round. I will say this: Carlson and Bjorklund, both Norwegian drivers, P3 and P4 at the moment. It's going to be a very happy day for the Norwegian nationals because they are flying at the moment. Lenny Kiefer, Howe and Wormvo, they are also up there. Big one for those, as well as Ingolstadt and Ireland, so they're all over the place. There is Christian Carlson, 2 positions up since the race start, and he's continuously looking at that rear bumper of Jason Munson. He is all over the back of it as a little bit of a blink as they head onto the main straight, as it's going to be looking here as well. There is Lenny Kiefer coming around the final corner. He is absolutely flying tonight. 17 up for the WNSD Motorsport car, and he's going over the curb a little bit, but a little bit is just showing even more skill. I will say this, Davidus Laurenonis, last lap, was the fastest overall, so he is the fastest man on circuit at the moment. So it's not just a tale of one person, it's a tale of many, and they continuously head around an iconic circuit like this, heading now down towards the braking zone. However, Lenny Kiefer still defends because he is going to have Gordon. He's going to have Gordon Howe right up alongside him. Going to go down into the hairpin. He's going to want the inside as Lenny Kiefer. Going to try hold on to it. Going to be going wheel to wheel, side by side. Nice and tidy. Forest Square in the background. And that is going to be a nice defence there by Lenny Kiefer. But is he going to be able to hold off for it from Gordon Howe down and through into this tiny arena section?
We are indeed with these two. They're really bassing away here, and it's been mighty impressive to watch Gordon Howe with a good amount of pace on him. He is trying to really push himself up personally for the Sim Racing Norway team, because of course that is the lead. That's what you want to be battling with, and that's going to be Munson on the defensive here with Christian Carlson, and now the 2 Sim Racing Norway drivers are trying to extend more points for them. They head their way down in towards the final sequence of corners of this race circuit. Of course, Sim Racing Norway do sit second in the championship, the team championship that is, and of course you score points with your top 2 drivers, and that will now mean that they are in a solid amount of points and can potentially go past Unity Racing Team, who of course are only sitting with 1 driver, and that's said driver is Kevin sorry, I've completely forgotten a name there, but Kevin Chevalier there in P9. I had to really reset my mind. It kind of heard a brain fog, like the partially cloudy skies we're seeing here at Hockenheim. I'm not entirely sure how true that is. That's going to be Carlson looking up the inside. He's made the move, my word, from so far back. Unbelievable from Christian Carlson. It was brave, it was bold. He made the move, and the risk was very, very high, but he found the way through.
That is how you do it. That is how you make a dive bomb. Some people may take notes from that, and one of them may be Kim Anderle Borkland. He's seen his teammate do it now. Now it's going to be in his mind. If he could do it, oh, in the background, that is Kevin Chavalier, who has gone around. So that is the Frenchman who is down. But Kim Anderle Borkland surely is going to be looking to get another position here for his team. So whatever happened to the Frenchman is incredibly unfortunate. We've also got, I will just say this, Polish driver of Schultz. He's been in this fight. He's been watching it unfold, and we haven't really mentioned him, but he is having a pretty good time tonight as well. 1 position up since his race start. However, Adam, I will say this, the more that these guys are fighting, if I'm looking at my timing tower correctly, Lenny Kiefer and Gordon Howe are slowly, ever so slowly, starting to close in on this. Maybe in the final 5 minutes if it keeps at this pace.
Yeah, it does seem like that's going to be potentially Lenny Kiefer crawling up at the back of this little pack. We see kind of the difference there between the 2 cars. The Polish driver is going to be looking to get through. I wonder if Munson's going to try and get through on Carlson. It doesn't look like it. I think Bjorklund is going to be looking this time around. We can just see in the cloud there, but oh my word, Schultz trying to see if he can pressurize Kim-Andre Bjorklund, but I think Andre Bjorklund is very much wise for the cause there. He's got a good exit here, has the Norwegian. He'll stick it on the inside line here, and Munson will have to play played a defensive role, but tried to swoop it around the outside. Will there be contact between the two? They hold it now, and I think Schultz just can't quite get involved in this one. Otherwise, there's going to be an incident. He's on that inside line there, but he is a car's width behind these two drivers. But you can see that gap deteriorating. So Lenny Kiefer, that was 2.4 seconds at the start of the lap. It's down to 1.7. So if they aren't careful, they are going to be at the relents of Lenny Kiefer. Bearing in mind, he's got up 17 plates again. Schultz trying that outside line, but gets pushed off onto the drag strip there on the left-hand side. Careful with that one. That could become very slippery when wet.
Yeah, that got incredibly close there. That little bit of a squeeze over the sausage curb, and now down onto this straight again, continuously trying to get as much speed as possible, hopping that slip. There is Lenny Kiefer in the background, as well as Gordon Howe and Thomas Worm. You just about see them through the fog here at Hockenheim. But now through the right, through the left, trying to get onto the back of that Porsche just in front, trying to close in on the bumper, but nothing for a moment. Are we going to get deja vu? No, we're not for a time being. It's just going to look like hop in the toe, play the safe game. Still 15 minutes left in this race. This is the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Series, all over the bumper as you see the little tag on the rear end. This is Apex Racing Academy, although there is people like that. But now into this right-hander, and now right on the bump. You're going to see how much these cars undulate and move going over these curbs with this camera, and it is absolutely astounding to watch. 1.7 now to Lenny Kiefer, but these cars really are going all over the place, using as much of the track as possible, closing in, and heck, it even shows here with how much the cockpit is bumping around and how much the horizon line changes, Adam.
Yeah, indeed. Alexa, do you know what their Instagram handle is, by any chance?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we were trying to do. Oh, Corey Lazarus. Schultz is at a moment, Schultz. So that seems to be internet. Corey Laz.
We had a disconnection from Oliver Schultz there. That would be so unfortunate there for the Polish driver, because he was running in such a great position, and it does look like he's going to be teleporting all the way to the pits. Well, that's one of the unfortunate ones. So we'll hope to see Oliver Schultz back in the second race. But if the internet isn't sorted out in the next 13 minutes, I don't know what can happen. Patrick and Lauren Onis have got black flags, so has Corey Lazarus. Triple. So look at that, 3 in a row as well. So yeah, indeed a triple black flag for those guys. They'll have to come into the pits. I think Alex Russell got one earlier, but Munson again staying defensive and strong to the cause of trying to get a podium. But the exit going to Kim-Andre Bjorkgren. He got the car straightened up and in towards the Mercedes-Benz arena. On the brakes he goes. Kim-Andre Bjorkgren is up into third place. A fantastic drive from the Norwegian, and he's putting himself into a good place here. But will the podium be satisfactory? I think for now, but when there's an open opportunity to get up to the front two in the championship, I think that might be the harsh mindset he's going with here. So we've got Kevin Chevalier out of this race. Schultz and Davidis Lorinonis has gone back to the pits. He's got a black with a meatball flag as well. So he's got massive amounts of damage, does the Lithuanian for the SRB Motorsports team. Will we be able to get a replay of this? Just completely slowing down. Oh, is there potentially an equipment issue? I think that's an equipment problem. So whoever he's running with, well, it's kind of failed on him at the worst possible time. What a chaotic race we've had here at Hockenheim. And this is only the first race. What about Joey Island, Alexa, down the inside?
Yeah, down the inside there, very light on the brakes. Going to absolutely fly off the end of the circuit. Comes back on. A little bit of a touch in the background there. Trying to figure out who that was, but thankfully they keep it going. However, I'm looking at this for a second. And that meatball there for Lauren Onis, as here comes Joey Ireland again on the replay down the inside. He's having an absolutely amazing fight on the replay here. Look for the outside, inside. Lovely jubbly, stand as a pound. I think he will keep it, or maybe he won't. Maybe a little bit of a wiggle on the exit. Gonna go free, almost gonna go free abreast, getting incredibly close. It's going to be incredibly close between them. And now, Joey Ireland, he's going to be right there. He's still going at it on the replay. This is what we were missing. Little tap. That's going to put him behind. Now it looks like he may actually fall to the drivers behind as well. So that is going to be that. However, I'm looking at this. There is Davidas Laurononis. And he's the man I want to talk about because Corey Lazarus got a black flag. As there is Helder. Going around the outside. Lovely jubbly. In fact, he's on the inside. Now on the end. It's all over the place. He's now on the inside. But I'm trying to figure out here as we get the move on the inside as well. Something must have... Oh! Definitely something happened as off the track goes Kater. And now onto the drag strip. Going to get very, very slippy eventually. Can I talk about my black flags now, please? As Petrig, Lauren Onis, and Corey Lazarus got triple black flags. So they had a black flag each. And then I would say about 20 seconds later, Lauren Onis got the meatball. So I feel like something happened between Lauren Onis, Corey Lazarus, and Petrig, and then that extra damage went to Lauren Onis. So that's what I'm wondering what's going on. Because of course we were watching the podium fight. There's a tale of two stories when it comes down to racing. As we go down the back straight, we may have something come in. We may get information on it eventually as into the hairpin. As this is the first one. Oh, that is Lauren Onis. And he gets spun around. And
not ideal. Not ideal situation.
Yeah, that's suspension. That's suspension. The way that he is driving that car, yeah, I would say that the front suspension's gone on that.
Yeah, it does look like. It does look like, for the moment, we suspect rather than equipment failure, it's suspension damage on Davidas Laurononis. So we didn't really get the full picture from the first instance. He's also got a black flag, so I don't know if he's serving that as well. I assume so after his excursion off the racetrack. Looking towards the front of the field, Dominic Beck still leading the way ahead of both Sim Racing Norway Drive, but we're focusing on our front trio here. But let's have a second to talk about Dominic Beck here, because he has been absolutely oblivious to all of this. He's just been running his race, putting in some really, really good laps. Unfortunately, it's not the fastest lap for him. The fast lap of the race, I'm so sorry to say this, is Davidas Laurononis with a 140.053. The Lithuanian who's now running down in 21st, and I think is now officially a lap down because he is still out there running. So I think for the moment here, Dominic Beck is just trying to focus on the task at hand here. He's not got a lot of time left as well. He's with 7 minutes to go. Let's have a look here at Thomas Verm, who was at one stage leading the amateur class. He's now batting over P5 in the amateur, but this little tussle right here, it was one of our pro drivers, and it's Helder Sequeira, the Andorran driver, who's gone ahead and also followed through Ruben Iglesias, his of course same countryman is what I was meant to say. So Iglesias and Sequeira really running well here for Team Andorra. And Thomas Verm, I'm not sure what's going on with the driver who's on home soil, but the pace just doesn't seem to be there, unfortunately, for the German. I hope he's just trying to come back in the next race. But what we do get a brilliant sight of is both Andorran drivers on the front row here, as Alex Rossell gets overtaken there. It seems like, unless I'm looking at the complete wrong driver, I think that was Cueto Lazarus having a little bit of a ding dong.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, maybe, but then again, it does come down to it all, and Adam, I'm going to ask you a question here. Do you know something that can help you with racing?
What can help me with racing?
Track guides and setups, and you know who provides them? The Apex Racing Academy, as there is Corey Lazarus going around the outside at the current moment, wheel to wheel for it. This is the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Series, and of course, Apex Racing Academy comes out to you with having track setups and, well, track setups, they have setups and track guides, I should say, that you can get, and words work. These guys are having an absolutely amazing battle right now. A little bit of a struggle there because Ruben Cato is not making the way past right now. But of course, the Apex Racing Academy has bronze, silver, or gold subscriptions. They include over 50 cars, including the Porsche Cup, with production of setups and track guides. Bronze, silver, or gold subscription available at apexracingac.com. That's apexracingac.com. apexracingac.com.
Absolutely fantastic there. And in towards the stadium section with Steve Clive, who of course was involved in that little skirmish in the first lap of the first corner. Yeah, not in the ideal position he wants to be in, but 15th is a decent fight back. He's kept himself in contention. He's put himself into decent places here. And Lenny Kiefer currently running in 5th place here. He's now right behind Munson, but he's got a bit of pressure here from Gordon Haug. Of course, the Norwegian won't be accounting to any Sim Racing Norway team points because that's being taken by the top two team drivers of Carson and Bjorklund. So all he can do really is fight for this place in the amateur class lead. But Lenny Kiefer has been so strong, but I do question the tyre life at this moment in time for the white and cyan car, as he now looks again here on Munson. Has potentially Munson munched all of his tyres up here with a couple of minutes to go here, but it does seem like the Briton is fighting here, but the spark coming from the bottom of those Porsches really do show how explosive this track has been. And Munson's off the track into the gravel, and he's just trying to keep himself within the track limits. It's proven to be a difficulty, and he does start losing a little bit of touch to the Sim Racing Norway team drivers. And now, into these last couple of moments, does Lenny Kiefer smell a 4th place on the horizon?
Well, he's about to find out. Round the final corner, horizon won't be visible because of how cloudy it is, but he's still gonna go and try it continuously up in a 5th gear, going back down to 4th, not yet 3rd, over the sausage curb, using the track limits to the absolute pristine amount, looking for it, hopping under that wing, hopping under the bumper, trying now, as this is gonna be the big part, going to hop onto that throttle. It goes pedal to the metal, foot to the floor as you head through the left-hander continuously. We've seen so many dive bombs happen down into the hairpin. Maybe we will see another one shortly, right up alongside him eventually, but not yet for the time being. Right there, you see the headlights hidden behind another car, but nothing for a moment. Playing the cards, and he's going to make it happen eventually.
He is indeed. I think there's still plenty of opportunities, but at what point do you get desperate? Is it that last lap? Is it maybe this lap this time around? But Lenny Kiefer, I think, is going to be wise to the course. Yes, he may be an amateur, but he is racing like a pro. If he can just hold on to that car and keep within track limits, don't do anything silly, I think he's on for a fantastic result. But we got to give credit here to Munson, because the Briton has been doing a superb job down in towards the stadium section. It's been a fantastic showing from both cars. The headlights beaming away to try and just cast through the cloudy skies of Germany. And I think Lenny Kiefer is starting to just smell blood, but I think he has to do it at a big opportunity like the hairpin. It's just a simple opportunity like that that'll be able to put him through up into 4th. But also, if he does stay in 5th and grabs a good amount of points, it will put him a little bit closer to that reverse grid pole that is currently being held by Helder Sakeda.
Yeah, currently looking for it. I mean, that's the thing that I think you want to look at this late on, because we are very, very deep into this race. In fact, We may. No, I think we'll get another lap. I believe we'll get another lap. We may not. We'll wait and see. It's going to be very tight, I would say, because there is Helder Sikiela, who is now making his way through, and he is going all over the place, but he's just not having a moment for the time being. Going to hold on to the inside line. Going to be right there for the time being. The outside line will be opted for down into it, as that is a slow down, so not what you want at all. Into the right-hander, and now I'm going to have to slot under again, as there is Lenny Kiefer, 18 positions up, looking for a 19th, down the inside, wheel to wheel, little bump of a curb, very, very close between these drivers, inching closer and closer together. However, he's going to want to get this done as soon as possible, because the checkered is going to fly. So now this is going to be the final moments. He may end up losing one round the final few corners, though. There he is, in home soil. Dominic Beck, round the final corner to the line, will win race 1 at Hockenheim. And he has done it absolutely astoundingly, as Sikela has just been overtaken Worm in the background. There is Lenny Kiefer, 2 Norwegians come home on the podium. Lenny Kiefer will have to settle for P number 5, but he is going to like that at the end of the day. Top in AM as well, with Gordon Howe on the podium. Same with Joey Ireland. There is Thomas Worm, who tried to get past Sikela, but unable to. That's the top 10.
Fantastic stuff there, and it's been a great race for a lot of these drivers. Corey Lazarus will come home in P12 ahead of Alex Russell. Steve Clives will be in 14, Ruben Cueto. Joey Petrick on his debut, I don't think 16th is the one he would want to be at, but promising pace, I think, for the Swiss driver. And he could be on for a good result if he could just keep himself composed going into that 30-minute race. But here are your following results after that absolute craze fest here at the Hockenheim ring. We'll just get them up shortly, and here they are. Dominic Beck is your winner. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting them. There we go. Luckily, Dominic Beck is going to be your race 1 winner ahead of Christian Carlson, and Kim Andre Bjorkland's 3rd place means that Sim Racing Norway head to the top of the team's championship. Jason Munson holds on for P4 ahead of Lenny Kiefer. Gordon Haug will be in P6. Pascal Veal for the Artite esports team comes home in 7th. Another German, one of 3 it seems like in the field. Joey Island, another strong, fantastic finish for the Breton, with Ruben Iglesias, the first of the Andorrans for the ACA esports team. Great stuff there ahead of his teammate Helder Sekera. It's been brilliant watching these two. Honestly, it's been amazing watching those two climb up the field. What about Thomas Verm up in P11 ahead of Corey Lazarus, who will finish home in 12th ahead of Alex Russell, and Steve Clives will be home in 14th. Ruben Cueto will be in 15th ahead of Joey Petrick for the Swiss driver. Max Nevin Chai will be in 17th ahead of Tristan Engelsau for the Quad Dash Racing team. And then we look down further down at the last couple of results, unless the standings go away. Ryan Stringer will be in P19 ahead of Danny Huntley, and then David Ass, Lauren Onis, Kevin Chevalier, and Oliver Salt. Really unfortunate there for Lauren Onis, unfortunately getting involved in contacts. Kevin Chevalier, of course, out of this race due to his incident, and Schultz may not be in the next race due to a disconnection. We'll see what the grid says, and if he's maybe on the graphics as well. I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep an eye there on Oliver Schultz. And in fact, I'm being told in my ear, here is the moment. Oliver Schultz, great to have him back. Looks like the internet is fixed, and hopefully we won't have a repeat. But it does mean we get the interesting sights that we're going to be seeing him we're going to be seeing him right at the back of the grid. Can he do a Lenny Kiefer and go from the back almost to the front?
Well, we're going to find out when it comes down to it. Quick little warm-up here to ensure that you get back acclimatized to a track, letting the adrenaline wear down a little bit. Because, of course, this is the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Series. They produce setups and track guides for over 50 cars, including the Porsche Cup that you are watching tonight. You can get bronze, silver, or gold subscription at apexracingac.com. That's apexracingac.com. apexracingac.com. For silver, bronze, or gold subscription, they produce setups and track guides.
You should put that in a song next time, because you make a good rhythm out of that one. I'll be very, very real. It makes for a good rhythm. When can we put that maybe on Premiere Pro or something along those lines and turn it into a beat?
Adam, don't tease people. They'll end up making it out of context of us two.
Oh goodness me! Do we want one of those? Probably not. I'm sure that will be our jobs on the line. So if nobody could do that, I'll be very grateful. Anyway, onto the grid. Helder Sequeira will be on pole position ahead of Ruben Iglesias, who will line up in second, with Joey Ireland will line up in third. Pascal Ville on his home turf will be in P4 ahead of Gordon Howe and Lenny Kiefer. What can he do from 6th place? Jason Munson will be in P7 ahead of Kim-Andre Bjorklund and Christian Carlson. Dominic Beck will line up in P10, our winner from the first race. He'll be ahead of Thomas Wurm and Corey Lazarus, the 12th row, the 6th row of the grid. Sorry, my apologies. Alex Russell and Steve Clives will be alongside each other in row 7, with Ruben Cueso and Joey Petrick alongside each other on the next row. What can Petrick do there? And we go racing here at Hockenheim once again for the second race tonight, and our drivers storm all the way down in towards turn number 1. I hope you got a good view of the grid. Now they turn their way through that fast right-hander, and Sequeira tries to pull away in these early stages. The pro driver in towards turn number 2, looking for his first win of the season, but the carnage is already happening in behind, and they all pack their way in towards 2, switching this way, that way. The timing screen goes absolutely madness, and they all scurry their way on toward the hairpin here, and they now look for any form of space, pick their braking points, and hopefully you won't go Valtteri Bottas bowling style down in toward the hairpin. We'll see what they do. That's a big lunge there. Somebody's made an even bigger lunge. It's 3 cars into 1, and it does not go. That was the 2-2-1 of Joey Ireland, absolutely seeing it more contact, and they head their way into the fast right-hander before then heading in toward the stadium section.
Call a fun fair, because we just got dodgems, but now into the braking zone again, into the left-hander, all over the place for these guys. Already have Kevin Shavler, who is out of this race. We've got Kevin Steve Russell is falling back further behind. Tristan Engelstadt and Lauren Onis also fighting. Crato and Russell fighting, but Crato is already on a charge. So is Skull. He is P number 17 so far. Amazing start for him. But now, Ryan Stringer, Lauren Onis, wheel to wheel, fighting and battling through these corners. The car halfway up. But now, nice and tidy, a little bit of squeeze, almost all over the place, bumping and bashing, trading pain, around they go. That is Ryan Stringer, not what he would have hoped. A little bit too much contact, and it ends up not working out that time. Down the inside now, though, goes Jason Manson, trying to hold on to it. He's going to lose out to Ruben Iglesias. Dominic Becker's right there with him, 3 abreast. Now going to be having this battle all the way through into the right-hander, but now going to go double file because they do not want to cause an incident.
No, they don't. Oh, big slide there from Jason Munson there. The exit, he's almost got into the side there of Iglesias, it seemed like, as they head their way down on toward the hairpin sequence. They're just inches apart, separated by a piece of paper. Now, who's going to be perfect on the brakes? Who's that looking up the inside? Is that Kim-Andre Bjorklund, 3 wide on the exit, and they head their way out. Can they make it 4? That's Christian Carlson having a look, saying, hello, I'm right here. Can you try and fit me in here? But look at that, around the outside, there's contact between 2 cars, and they were just missing the wall. They've missed absolutely everyone. I think another car has gone round. I think that was Kim-Andre Bjorklund, and another car. Will get an idea of who that was, because I really want to get an idea of who was the 2 drivers. It looks like, was that Schultz? I hope not, because that would have been so frustrating for him. As Pascal Veal takes control of the lead here, but it looks like shot there. Steve Clyde might have been involved in that. Gordon Haug, I think, with the driver skating off the red and black car, who was skating off down into that corner. But what chaos we had here at Hockenheim.
Chaos across the board.
Shall I dissect the replays? Do you want me to? It's going to be a couple, I'm being told, in this one. So let's have a look and dissect these ones. So down into all the hairpin with Gordon Haug. We're focusing on that black and red car. Look, that was a big move there by Joey Island. Bang! Into the side of Gordon Haug, another car. I'm not quite sure who that was. And then I think it was Kim-Andre Bjorklund. That car got tipped up of Joey Island. So Island then got tipped up here, and then I think it's the next lap where it just kind of continued round. How again? Oh, then goes into Joey Island. Another car on the inside then just spins around. I think that might have been Chevalier, but it doesn't look like a Unity racing car, so we might have to get back to on that part. So we'll stick with Gordon Haug for now, and we now look back to this is Alex Rossell trying to fit through the middle. So I think Rossell was the one getting turned around. Yeah, just kind of lost it himself really after that little bang between Ireland and Haug. You're just trying to gather my words up. Then this was the moment here for Lenny Kiefer, it seems like. So yeah, Kiefer was the one involved in these. So him and Haug have been batting too much. They kind of just got an embroiled argument. It just heated up like a kettle, like an oven, whatever you kind of want in terms of to describe it. And it's just gone overboard. Lenny Kiefer, they're just squeezing another sim racing Norway car out. And then what about Ryan Stringer? Does he kind of get involved in this one, trying to shut another car out? I think, yeah, he just tried to stick it on the inside there, the quad dash racing car driver. He just didn't want to give up the place, thought there was a move down into the second last corner. But we'll go back to the live action for now, just in case we miss anything. We've got Pascal Villaquer ahead, and Munson ahead of Iglesias. Corey Lazarus is fighting up in the top 10 with Joey Island there in 6th, Kim-Andre Bjorklund in 7th, and Petrick now up into 8th.
Yeah, plenty of positions there. I'm just going to say this. Davidas Laurononis, now P number 10. 11 positions up, wheel to wheel, side by side here for Kim-Andre Bjorklund. Now going to be in this fight. Lenny Kiefer losing out to Christian Carlson further back. Joey Island locked in this fight with Joey Petrick and Kim-Andre Bjorklund. We got a massive. This just shows how close these guys are. You've got the battle for P1, which is less than a second. Then P number 3 down to P number 9 is this fight that you are watching on your screen. It is all over the place, and you've got so many drivers fighting each other. There is Ruben Iglesias trying to make his way towards Munson as quickly as he possibly can. Behind the trees, behind the buildings, and that is Kim-Andre Bjorklund. He's putting on an absolutely stellar defense right now. Petrick, Joey Island continuously hammering down at the rear end of that car, trying to look for an opportunity to get through. We may have more replays to dissect, but what we're watching now is absolutely astounding, as here comes Petrick down the inside. Lovely jubbly sound as a pound. That is how you make a move, and that's going to be him up into P number 6 for the Switzerland driver. Nice and tidy, I would say. Corey Lazarus now getting past Iglesias as well. So that is down in turn number 1. This is what you love to see. Nice clean overtakes, but also nice clean battles. As it looks like Ruben Iglesias may be looking to come back at it on this 23 degree track, 19 degree ambient. However, Adam, I think we need to remind each other here, we're only 7 minutes into this race.
Yes, and it's a race that's been extended by 5 minutes. Of course, we had the 25-minute first race, the 30-minute second race, and that kind of allows more opportunities. Tristan Engelstad, speaking of opportunities, is trying to see if he can find a move here on Davidas Laurononis. So not quite being able to get that move done. That is a pro up against an am there. Laurononis in the pro, Engelstad as an amateur, but he is clinging on to a top 10 place here is the Swedish driver. So I think what Engelstad needs to do is just hold on for now and see if he could potentially just cling on to that top 10, take the points home. And getting a lovely little message from my from somebody who's watching, saying what have they had in their tea. Dominic Beck, we're watching here. Has he had a bit of an incident between drivers down in towards the right hand of turn 1, taking a big chunk of curb? Would you like some road with that curb there, Mr. Beck, down in towards turn 2? But that was a big amount of curb. Oh, down in towards the second corner. A little bit wide there. But again, this live action looking very, very strong here. Iglesias just sitting there as an amateur in the top 5. But there's somebody who wants an open opportunity, and it is Petrick on his debut.
Yeah, like, he is wanting them fight his way through, and he's doing it and he's taking a pound with each time he does it. He's doing very good, I would say, on a debut. Absolutely astounding in race 1 until the initial incident, but now looking to get up into the top 5. Very, very tight. Almost. Petrick on the inside. Oh, I thought he had slipped, but the camera was just moving. Thank you. Thank you, cameraman. Made me overreact for nada, but right now, I still love the move. Getting up past Iglesias. Now he's going to try and chase down Corey Lazarus. He did get past him, as that was absolutely astounding. There is Iglesias, and in the background is Balkland. So now heading down and through, they are having a nice little squabble, I would say. Honestly, what are they having in their tea? Hopefully some milk, because I would say that you're going to need it, considering how dark it is out here. Maybe add some carrots in there to help you see better in the fog. But they are heading down and through. A little bit of dirt getting kicked up. Definitely going to need some carrots, as through the left-hander, all over the back of him, and that is still Ruben Iglesias, who is locked in the middle between Petrick and Balkland. So the Swiss driver putting up a stellar defence at the moment. So is Munson on Corey Lazarus, as Munson, of course, holding on to that podium position, Adam, and he is 4 positions up in this race. In fact, P3, P4 and P5, some of the biggest gainers. 4 for Jason, 8 for Corey, and 11 for Joey. Biggest still Devon, this Laurenonis. As down the inside here, lovely move by Corey, he's going to make it 9.
Yep, good stuff there from Lazarus. That's a big tussle. Well, the racetrack is sometimes all about making friends. It seemed like a lap ago, somebody who didn't want to be friends was your microphone when it kind of broke like a Renault engine at the back of an Alpine a couple of a lap ago. But Munson down in toward the outside corner, looking pretty strong on that one. Can he get the traction here? Lazarus holds that inside line. I think Iglesias also potentially wants a move or so. That's Joey Petrick, the Swiss driver, who will be looking for a top 5. He's in that top 5. But remember, on the line here, there is a podium hit. Oh, that's Christian Carlson with a big save of the race. My word, the red and black car was kind of at a 30-degree angle as we joined cameras with him. He looked to try and get past Tristan Engelstad, but Engelstad was pretty much not having it, in the Porsche bodywork holding up on that one as well. Superb. Do I want to say superb defensive job from Engelstad? I think there was just a bit of a miscommunication, maybe a little bit of net code as well. So, yeah, well done for holding 10th place there, Engelstad, but I think that's the most you're going to get from me there, just in case there was a little bit of a pushy, blamey, whatever involved in that one. Meanwhile, Joey Petrick really putting the pressure on Feli debutant Munson onto the outside of turn at number 2, on towards this exit here. You're trying to really get the pressure on that gas pedal as early as you possibly can. They'll side draft their way down the long back straight, probably the longest straight on the circuit. And look at Kim-Andre Bjorklund also having an opportunity here. He's right to the inside. Let's keep on tapped with both of them if we possibly can. And it looks like Petrick there up to 4th. Kim-Andre Bjorklund slips himself up to 6th place. 2 fantastic moves there in the space of 1 corner.
Lovely jubbly. And now in the move off track, very big off track. I can tell you right now, one of those is Lenny Kiefer, the Luxembourg driver. So that is not what he would have wanted. He had amazing race 1. It seems like luck is starting to catch up a little bit in race number 2, but he's still driving pretty well out there. P number 12 on the board at the current moment in time. So not too bad overall. However, compared to his starting position, he is 6 positions down. Here is Thomas Worm. He is on the back of Nevin Shanny. So they are continuously handing at each other. That white, black and blue car as we go inside. Hello there. That's a very different colour race suit to the car. No surprise though, as that is what some teams do in real life. Now trying to make their way through. Lovely and Nye going to be heading through the right-hander. Trying to get as close as possible. Maybe so close that you can't stick a bap in between them.
Thomas Verb really pushing forward, seeing if he could potentially get a couple of places here at his home race. But of course, Max Nevin Chai is never one to really give up. Of course, Max has been one of those drivers that has been constantly learning every single time he gets in a Porsche Cup car. And it's been impressive to see. And Dominic Beck here, has he had a bit of a moment? We now look back at the battle to Verm and Nevin Chai, but it looks like the German does get through. So yeah, I just wondered if there was something suspicious there on Dominic Beck. Of course, he was starting 10th. He was race winner of race 1, and he's now running in 14th, which is not the place I think he wants to be. So seems like he did have that incident on the opening lap, which was going to be not ideal. Meanwhile, Kim-Andre Bjorklund squeezing there Jason Munson, and Munson is doing a fantastic job there in his blue and red car, but it does seem like the more experienced Kim-Andre Bjorklund does have the wiseness and the speed to get past the Breton. So he will now go on the charge here for Joey Petrick, who's now approaching the back here of Corey Lazarus. And into the halfway stage of this race, those top 4 are getting mighty close. And then you've got that kind of battle of Bjorklund, Munson and Iglesias all tied together as well. So there's going to be some great points for a couple of drivers, great points for Andorra, and some fantastic points, I think, for the Germans, because Pascal Veal is leading this race by a second already. And we now keep on tabs here with the driver from Luxembourg is Lenny Kiefer, who currently sits 4th in the amateurs, with pressure here coming from Alex Russell going defensive.
Stick defensive, both going 2-wheel over the sausage curb, wheel to wheel, side by side, a little bit of a tap, but still only trading pain. And now coming through this corner, through the right, into the left-hander, right on the rear bumper with this camera angle. Those headlights are nice and bright, as it does seem like the atmosphere has cleared up a little bit. It's getting quite a bit more clear, not as much fog. Now down in towards the braking zone of the hairpin, wheel to wheel, side by side, but just about going to be able to fit it right there for him. Lenny Kiefer going to hold it on the inside line, going to give it a bit of a squeeze, a little bit cheeky there. But still, he is going to hold on to that position just about. Absolute stellar defense right there, as you see the suspension doing a little bouncing celebration. But he's on an absolute stellar drive tonight, I've got to say it. And it seems like the Twitch and it seems like the YouTube chat does agree with me. If you are watching or you are new here, Apex Racing TV, like, come on, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, as they are going to go wheel to wheel, side by side, Ryan Stringer and Kato. So now, as in, they are going to go right up against each other. We got so many stellar fights here tonight, Adam. I'm absolutely loving it.
Oh, me too, Ryan. Cueto trying to go for the fake dummy on that one. Ryan Stringer was wise to the cause. I thought that he was had his focus somewhere else, but no, it's just the shadows on his face cam that he's wonderfully given us tonight. But you see there for the Quad Dash Racing team, they're currently running 17th and 11th, the Quad Dash Racing duo of Engelstad and Stringer. They run through turn number 1 once again. We look back now to Lenny Kiefer, who's got double the pressure here with Rossell and Dominic Beck now trying to see if he can find a way through on Lenny Kiefer. Of course, Kiefer has had a really strong season. He's been unbelievable. Had only lost a race twice this season, that being the first race in Mexico and the Bend first race in Australia last time around. So, yeah, of course, Dominic Beck giving us a lovely face camera for us as well. But he's really having to do a big defensive job here. But yeah, this will probably be the third time he doesn't win a race. And notice how it's, you know, notice how consistently he's been on the kind of the winning spot. And also the other times he just hasn't been on the podium, so it's kind of becoming a bit of a trend. So if Dominic Beck, you know, isn't set to win a race, he'll just finish off the podium, it seems like. But you know, he's doing his best work there currently in P12. Will just hang on for as much as he possibly can.
Yeah, he's going to hold on to it for the time being, but he's doing a pretty nice job tonight, I would say. Lenny Kiefer right there, also going to have Russell just behind it. So Dominic is coming on to this back of the fight, going to go through. No, it's going to go round for Russell. So now that's going to bring Dominic Beck to where he's going to be, P number 13. So he's going to continuously try to fight his way through. Now this is going to put Alex Russell right into the path of worms. So a fight that was going to look like it was 3 drivers is now turned into a fight of 2. So this has become a whole lot more interesting coming towards the end of this. We are approaching the final 10 minutes here in this race, and this is the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Series. Here comes Jason Munson trying to defend still in this moment. Davidus Laurenonis, who is going to be right there with him, going to be looking for it down this back straight, continuously wheel to wheel, side by side, going to move across, and that is lovely there by Davidus Laurenonis. Munson still going to try it round the outside, got to be up and under possibly, but nothing there as Kato gets past Navin Shani in the background all the way down the grid order, as you can see on the left hand side of your screen. But you can also see how close these guys are, really. All the drivers practically all the drivers in the second half of the lap, not a singular one in the first half. So one mistake from any driver and it can be a big old gain for them. So now coming through the left, through the right, for the others I should say, and now going to be coming past the arena. Big old grandstand. Personally, my favourite grandstand in all of racing, in the entirety of the racing world. There's just something you can't beat about it. But now, into the right-hander of turn number 1. Lovely jubbly, and this is the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Series. And of course, you can go to Apex Racing Academy and you can get your hands on track guides and setups for over 50 cars, including the Porsche Cup cars that you are watching tonight. You can purchase a bronze, silver, or gold subscription at apexracingac.com. That's apexracingac.com, all in lowercase. apexracingac.com for a bronze, silver, or gold subscription that can get you setups and track guides for over 50 cars.
Yeah, fantastic stuff there, and we've now gone over 2/3 of this race, so into the final third of this second race here at the Hockenheim ring. It has been a real pleasure to cover this series, and especially at a track like this. My word, it's been amazing. Pascal Vial now still continues to lead here with just about a second plus or minus to Helder Sequeira, who's in second place, who's been managing that gap really, really well, despite, you know, not having the same pace as the drivers up ahead. I believe this is going to be his first podium of this season. Then you find Corey Lazarus in behind the New Zealander, who is pushing hard, up 9 places from his starting position. Will he be able to potentially go on and win? It will be a tough ask. And we now move to the debutant of Joey Petrick, who's still 6/6 behind. He's gone up 12 despite his absolutely not ideal, far from ideal I should say, first race. Kim Andre Bjorklund 2 seconds back there for the Sim Racing Norway team. He'll be scoring the team's points along with Christian Carlson, who currently sits there in P9. Lauren Onis in P6, still looking pretty good here, up 50 from his starting position. So Lauren Onis will be grabbing some great points, but will it be enough to maybe launch him up a couple of places? I think so. He's in a great place. What about behind him? Jason Munson, another debutant, still 1.9 seconds behind Lauren Owners, but he's on the defensive work here behind our amateur leader. But before we move on behind, well, we've already done it, Matt. But Munson has been doing a superb job. He's been superb on his debut, of course. Gives some really, really strong results, and I'm sure that he'll be a fantastic asset to these final 3 rounds of the championship. Ruben Iglesias, our amateur leader, has been out there really pumping in the laps and continuously leading out here for the amateurs. Been fantastic watching the ACA Esports team driver really pushing, of course, the second of the Andorran drivers in that top 8. Let's have a look and round out our top 10 with Christian Carlsen, 1.3 seconds back, the Sim Racing Norway driver. Been really pushing here, but of course had a few kind of misdemeanors that meant he's not been able to fight up at the top ends like Kim Andre Bjorklund has been able to do. And Joey Ireland, again, a driver that just proves himself week after week after week and improves every single time he gets in a cup car. Of course, that -7 is just kind of it doesn't look too, it doesn't look great on the kind of graphic, but I can promise you he's doing a fantastic job. Someone else who's doing a fantastic job here is Corey Lazarus, who's going to try and look around the outside. The brake disc glow on both of these Porsche Cup cars. Can he swing it around the outside? He might be able to do so with the traction. Bit of tapping between the Kiwi and the Andorra driver, with Patrick just sitting in the background thinking, can I get involved? Can I get involved? But Lazarus picks himself up into second, and Patrick will go for the podium. Fantastic between the two drivers, but Sekera won't be one to give this one up, and he'll just have to slot in behind. And devastation for the Andorran driver with 5 minutes to go.
5 on the clock. And it all starts to count down for it. Absolutely mega debut for Petrlik. Not so much for Sekera, not what he would have hoped to want tonight. But he has to look ahead and hope that he can get back on that podium. Wheel is not that far ahead either when you think about it. One mistake, you've got them all in view. You can go for it. So, as that was contact there on the rear right as Kato gets a black flag further down the grid, but now down the main straight, Sekera on Petrlik, down in turn number 1, almost again, but very, very wide there for the Swiss driver. Definitely a slowdown, as you see, and now that is gonna be unfortunate for him. Sekera back up into P number 3, and Corey Lazarus is closing in that gap to the leader. So we have got a very, very spicy. Have your curry however you like it. It's going to be a very spicy curry at the end of this, it seems, as they head down into these final few corners. And then again, it's never say never, as there is 4 minutes left on the clock.
There is indeed, and this is going to be a very, very tough 4 minutes for Pascal Veal on home soil. Could we see 2 Germans win? Of course, 2 different names, same nationality, but we could definitely see that they rumble the curb there over on that fantastic camera angle. More of that, please, because that was absolutely superb. Credits there, Tim Cunningham, as well, for giving us these angles, because they are absolutely fantastic. Really gives a kind of a sense of what these drivers are up dealing with as well. Really running close to limits as well. We get an idea of how wide do these drivers want to run, how much are they willing to risk what they are, what they have. And of course, you're going to see track limit penalties being given out, and this is the kind of ones where we can see one that are being passive and one that are being aggressive. Petrick, again, speaking of aggressive, you're going to try and potentially look for a move here. We've got to try and keep on tabs here with 2 different battles, because this is going to be a tough one. Top 5 are looking incredibly close, with Veal and Lazarus as kind of group 1, and Takeda, Petrick, and Borkland as kind of the second group. And it's amazing to see that kind of second group, because you've got Takeda, who's going for his first podium, Petrick, who's going for his first podium on debut, and Bjorklund, who's just trying to get some more points for Sim Racing Norway, who have taken the team championship lead. Here comes Helder Sekera to try and keep that defensive job up, trying to get later on the break, trying to force Petrick on the outside line the long way around. But who's going to get the traction? Who's going to get the edge? And they cast their way down on toward that very fast right-hander. It does look like the Andorran will have to back out of it, but he's not giving up without a fight. Racing room being left there by Petrick, and will take P3, does the Swiss driver. Superb stuff.
Absolute superb at the end of the day. Petrick back into P number 3. Borkland may possibly sense an opportunity, but no, it's going to look for the inside with Sekela, but nothing at the moment gets even tyre onto the gravel. Big undulation in the car as you ride on board with it, and this is getting incredibly tight. Possibly the opportunity of losing the podium, starting to settle in the mind, and wanting to get back past as soon as possible, wanting to get back into that place, wanting those points. He's got to be careful of Borkland behind, as I'm having a tingle in my ear, but Munson has had a moment as Lauren Onis into the pit lane, so possibly a fuel miscalculation, because I didn't see any flag for him, but also Munson, so maybe fuel miscalculations due to the extra 5 minutes added on, possibly just bringing over setups, and it was a mistake. But now they're just continuing around this circuit, these guys, in this fight. It's all over the place, even going up into the lead. This is Corey Lazarus and Pascal Wheel.
Oh, there's some fantastic battling here on the final lap of the race, and Corey Lazarus has stolen it at the death. Pascal Veal was on for a race win, but how desperate does he want this? Defensive line by Corey Lazarus onto the outside. He'll go, he'll try and in-swing it, but the Porsche is just sitting there. Will he fight it around the outside? He does, but he will just have to try and get it back on that inside line, which he doesn't. Gets pushed out. There's one opportunity left on the road. Will he go for it? Will he go for a fake dive bomb? How do you play it, Mr. Veal? Well, we'll see. He has to sit in behind, and at the death was denied a double Deutsch win. It will go to the Kiwi of Corey Lazarus. A massive fight back, and Lazarus from 11th wins here at Hockenheim. What a way to take the flag on the final lap of the race. It'll be Joey Petrick to take that final podium place ahead of Helder Sekera and Kim-Andre Bjorklund. It'll be the amateur win for Ruben Iglesias. What a fantastic day to be an Andorran. What a fantastic day to be a Kiwi, arguably a German, but as well, Lenny Kiefer in the pit on these last moments. Black flag for Russell, black flag for Lauren Onis, black flag for Kiefer. Munson was given was sent to the pit lane as well. What carnage happened in the last moments, I will never be able to explain.
I don't think I'll be able to explain either, Adam, because that was chaos, but in a good way. What a race we saw tonight. Still got Hunley, still got Cato, still got Clyde making their way around the circuit to come to the checkered. But once we can, we will get the information up on the screen for the final classification here at the Hockenheim ring. And that is, there he is. There is Danny Huntley making his way around. Here is Ruben Cato on board with him as he heads through these final few corners. Every single driver tonight should take a bow, because these cars, this circuit, a forever iconic combo, and they have put on an absolutely perfect show. Around the final corner, here comes Cato, and he is going to go to the line. Steve Kleiss also takes it, so we will get the full classification up for you in just a moment.
We will do. And, well, what a fantastic race we had. Corey Lazarus was the winner by 6/10 of a second. Pascal Veal ahead of Joey Petrick and Helder Sequeira. Kim Andre Bjorklund will be in P5 with Ruben Iglesias taking that amateur win. Christian Carlson for Sim Racing Norway. More points gathering for those two as they take that team's championship lead. But wait till they get to the next round. Will we have our absolute points gobbler of Paudry throw back? We'll have to see. Then we move on to Joey Ireland taking second in the amateurs, followed by Dominic Beck. First and ninth, it will be an up and down one for the German driver. Tristan Engelstad holds on to his P10 ahead of Thomas Verm and Jason Munson down in P12 after a late pit stop. Really unfortunate for him. Gordon Haug will go to 13th with Ryan Stringer in P14 and the Portuguese of Max Nevinchai ahead of Alex Russell. Davidas Laurenonis ahead of Lenny Kiefer as well in P18. What a difficult day for the driver from Luxembourg. Danny Huntley and Ruben Cueto with DNFs following from Steve Kleiss, Oliver Schultz and Kevin Chevalier. Not good one for both Schultz and Chevalier. 2 retirements for them. How they would love to have a rejuvenation in 7 days' time. But there are your results for the 5th round of the championship. We have got 3 remaining, and if you are very interested in which of those rounds are coming up next, we stay in Europe for the Circuit de Barcelona before a quick flyaway over to the States for Road Atlanta, the famous home of the Petit Le Mans race, with Imola going to be the finale. We head back to Europe. So some fantastic racetracks as well. Of course, Road Atlanta being a big circuit favorite, Imola being a pretty good one as well. But it seems like we only have one interviewee. So get the images up, because Joey Ireland is going to be in here. Joey, you're live on Apex Racing TV. You seem to be our only interviewee, but a chaotic race here in Hockenheim. How did it go from your perspective?
First, hi guys. We got there. We got to the second step of the podium, which is good. It's been a long time coming. First off, I'd like to apologise for the issue on turn one, not turn one, on the hairpin. Sorry. I just struggle with the brake bias on this car for some reason, and I don't know if it's the pedal setup or the way I've got it adjusted, but apart from that, I don't think anyone's race was ruined because of it, but again, apologies. But yeah, we had a good race. It was quite lonely once it kind of got settled down. We made a couple of mistakes on some corners, but yeah, overall, I'm happy with the second, and I'm glad we're up there. We did struggle with the setup, so to come away with a third in class and a second in class, we'll take that any day.
Of course, you're usually on 2 wheels, it seems like, but how has kind of the sim world been for you on 4 wheels?
I've been sim racing for a long time now. It's been just a kind of a passion hobby of mine. Not really done anything too seriously. Done a couple of esports leagues like this one, but probably nothing as competitive as this. So it's good. It's nice to get an understanding of the circuits for when we go to real life ones on the bikes. So it's nice to get a lot of laps in to kind of understand the lines and the way the track is, because it kind of translates the same in a way. But yeah, no, it's nice to get that familiarity, and it's sim racing has been good as a whole.
Of course, looking to your results, how have you felt they've gone today? I'm pretty sure you got a second in the amateurs in the race that's just gone.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main focus for us. We said, top of class is where we want to be. Ruben put up a great stint in that second race, so he deserves that win. I tried to close him down, but I just couldn't reel him in. But we'll take a third in race 1 and a second in race 2. Now, we're over the moon, to be fair. It's like I say, we had difficult with the setup, so we didn't think we would be fighting for the podium, and we was, so happy days.
I've got one more question, but before I keep yapping away, I want to pass over to Alexa. Alexa, do you have any questions for Joey Ireland?
Just the usual one I usually ask. Of course, going into the next round, I am sure you're very familiar with Barcelona. What's the game plan going to be going into that one, of course, after what I would say is a good result for you tonight?
Yeah, I think we need to take away and we need to kind of dial in this brake issue for the next race because there's a couple of corners on that circuit which obviously are good for trail braking and they also require a lot of brake input. So I think we need to go back to the to some practice sessions, get this brake bias set up correctly, and then just kind of focus on and keeping it a little bit clean. I mean, we normally do clean races, but it's just this braking. Sometimes going into corners with cars, it just likes to lock up, and we're not sure why. But we'll go back to the drawing board and have a look.
Well, fair enough. We shall wish you luck and hopefully maybe see you even higher up for your races in the coming future. We shall see you in 1 week's time, Joey. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Looks like he has disappeared off to enjoy his podium place. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone that's been watching this this championship. Yeah, kind of Alexa, it's been a wild one here at Hockenheim, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it to the max.
We're not done yet, Adam. Adam, we're not done yet. We've got Joey. We're not done yet.
They appeared out of nowhere.
I'll let you take your pick. Do you want Dominic Beck or do you want Joey Petrick?
I will take Joey Petrick. Thank you very much. I'll interview our debutante.
Of course. And then I shall take Dominic just after.
Indeed, that's the way it's going to work. So thank you for noticing that because I almost rounded it off. Joey Petrick, you are live on Apex Racing TV. A very strong debut to the ARA Porsche Cup for you. How was it trying to dial in that Porsche?
Hello, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it was with the car. I didn't have that much problem, I would say. it was a bit chaotic in the first race between Corey and me, and yeah, unfortunately, that was the most of the struggle then to keep the car on the road in the first race because I had damage from the first corner. So, and yeah, but the second race was a nice recovery.
As I was saying, it did seem like a very chaotic race. How did you see it from your perspective, trying to get by all the chaos?
In the second race, quite well. So I didn't had trouble that much to gain the positions, and like all, I would say no fight was unnecessary or too yeah, too difficult to overtake or something like that. That was quite nice, or everyone respected each other. The first race was a little bit more chaotic. So, but yeah, we texted with the guy that I had a little bit trouble, and it's okay.
I'm glad you resolved that. Glad you resolved that issue. But in case we do see you again, we've got Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya coming up next. Is that a circuit that you feel confident with?
Yeah, I would say so. It's not quite comfortable track as Hockenheim, I would say. I drove that more than Catalonia, but you can prepare for every race. And yeah, a week's time, I think that will be great.
So before we let you go, Alexa, is there anything that you want to ask?
You have covered all the grounds.
Thank you.
No worries. So Joey, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to before you head off?
No, I would not say. So
That's okay. Thank you very much for taking your time to talk to us. It's been a
thank
pleasure.
you.
I hope to see you potentially for the rest of the season.
Thank you. I see you guys next week.
Hopefully, we'll be seeing. We'll hopefully be hopefully we'll be seeing Joe Petruk a lot more in the next couple of rounds as he continues to get through these next few rounds. Alexa, would you like to bring Dominic Beck into this into the way into? Oh no, he's gone. He's still there.
Hello.
You're live on Apex Racing TV. From our perspective, it looks a bit of two halves out there, but still a victory nonetheless. What was it like out there? Because obviously you have a very different perspective to us.
Yeah, I mean, the first race was a bit lucky for me because Bjorn and 2 killed each other in T1. So it was a bit lucky, but from there on I pushed like crazy because I wanted this win so badly. But yeah, the second race was also quite a bit an up and down, but was still really good fun.
Yeah, of course, Hockenheim seemingly one of those circuits that everybody loves. But we go to Barcelona next time round, P1, P3 tonight. So I'm sure there will be a momentum riding. Are you more familiar with Barcelona? Is there anything you're thinking of changing going into that round?
I quite like this track, but I need to do some training because I'm not that fast, but I think should be a good one as well.
Well, fair enough. And obviously, we'll get your perspective on this because we've got it mentioned last time round. Turn number one, lap one. What was it really like out there with that first lap? Obviously, second race it started to clear up, but with like the fog and everything. What was it like? Cause did you see anything? Did you pick up any damage?
Well, I mean, was not that distracting, was a bit like boring to drive because you don't see the sun or like any clouds, but was not that much of an extraction. So was okay.
Well, I see. And before we let you go, is there anybody you would like to thank?
Yeah, I would like to thank Smith Esports and Fossa because they are our main sponsors and our team. And without them, I wouldn't be sitting here and talking to you. But was really enjoying today.
And any questions you would like to ask Adam?
Nothing from me. Dom, you're welcome to go. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. It's been a pleasure, and we'll hope to see you for the final 3 rounds of the season.
For me too. I hope I see you next week.
Oh, I hope
Bye-bye.
you are back in the comms box. So take care. So hopefully, we'll see more podiums for Dominic Peck in future. Thank you, Jim, for bickering in my ear. But that kind of rounds us off here at Hockenheim. Again, a fantastic circuit. If you do need reminding of what circuits we're going to, we're off to Barcelona before then taking the trip across the pond to Atalanta, then Imola. So then we will now, we'll then head into the next round in 7 days' time. So from myself, Alexa, and Jim Cunningham in production, thank you very much. Take care. Good night.